Thank you so much for joining today's Friday session with Newark Yoga Movement. I hope that today's session finds you well and in good spirits. We've completed another week, well, almost another work week. It's been quite a challenge to kind of remain focused during this time. I think that's understandable. It's been a challenge for me. But as always, this practice of gratitude and of breath work, pranayama, it has a way of recentering the mind, recentering the thoughts. And I think the message that keeps coming back to me, at least this week, and the message that's been coming to me this week is one of consistency. And that's hard, right? We go on about our daily lives and we find ourselves in these patterns of behavior. And sometimes those patterns start to feel like autopilot. So in that way, there is consistency, but does that consistency become complacency? So with that, we look to shift our perspective. We look to find new practices, find new ways to kind of get the things that we need. And when we look to yoga and meditation, it can be really easy to feel like to fall into the mindset that this is too hard, or that there's an idea of like what it's supposed to look like, especially if it's something that we're new at. And we sit on the floor, we find our quiet space and sit up real straight and practice breathing, but we notice we don't take a breath as long as we should, or there are other things on our minds, or we start to feel fidgety or itchy or distracted. That makes sense, right? Our brains are meant to multitask, even if we don't realize it. There are processes in the brain that are happening, processes in the body that we don't control. We don't control our digestion directly. We don't say digest and the muscles and the intestines get churning. We don't blinking, breathing, our heartbeat, the little movements of the muscles that keep us upright. We're not consciously controlling these things, so the mind is indeed meant to multitask. But when we meditate, sometimes that multitasking becomes problematic. And so when we don't have success the first time, or even the second time, we quit. Because quitting is easy in the short term. Quitting is easy. It's easy to just kind of throw up your hands and go back to what is comfortable, what is familiar, but might not necessarily be the most healthy or in our best interest. So I say all of that to remind you all that yoga and meditation are practices. And a practice, I believe in the definition itself, in the truest sense of the word, is something you do again and again and again and again and again. And its very nature is one of failure. I say failure because it may feel like in the moment it's wrong, but each time you do something, you learn a little bit more. Each time you do something, you pick up on things maybe you didn't get. Each time you didn't get before. Each time you repeat these actions, the memories are built into the body. They're built into the mind. So the next time we go to repeat this practice, they are a little closer to where we need them to be, where we would like for them to be. So stay consistent. Not consistent in complacency, consistent in practice. Consistency in practice. That's where the benefit lies. It's not what you do once or twice. It's what you stick with. It's what you do when you don't want to. You don't feel like it. These practices are wonderful in that they're able to be modified to meet the space where we are. So one day your practice may look like 30 minutes of meditation, an hour of sweat yoga, and the next day your practice might look like 5 minutes in the shower of deep breathing, and maybe a light floor stretch for 10 minutes. That's still a practice. Not only a physical practice, but a practice in consistency, a practice in dedication and focus, a practice in adaptability. It becomes so much more. So today's cards, we pulled, this is so cute, oh my gosh. Ishvara Pramidana, dedication to Supreme. I don't know if you can see this little otter. It might be really, really bright, but I think it's so cute. This otter bows its head and holds its hands in a Namaste mudra, a symbol for finding humility in every act of your day. Ishvara Pranidhana means to dedicate your work to the Supreme. Giving up your work helps to allow your ego to step aside. What happens when your ego is blown up? Shift your practice by surrendering your actions to a higher power. That's beautiful. What happens when your ego is blown up? I think that's a very interesting choice of words. Blown up in which sense? Meaning blown up as in conceit and arrogance. You got a big head, you can't fit in the room. Or blown up as in destroyed, dismantled. what happens when the ego is blown up? I think we should sit with that for a moment. Let's just take a few breaths. Let that question sink in. As you take in this message, allow it to fill the body with the breath. Inviting a little movement, staying in the message. Release the chin to the chest and breathe into the back of the neck, sitting up tall here. Maybe start some gentle motions left and right. We're not going all the way around to start. But just roll the neck, roll the head around. Feeling supported from beneath you. Breathe in here along the sides of the neck. Widening your circle. Roll around, come a little further to the back each time until we're ready to make that full circle around. Either direction, whatever feels good, just opening up the neck space. Maybe you switch sides. The shoulders be heavy. Feel the chin stretch up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. And come on up to the top on an in-breath. Feeling the breath fill up from the belly all the way up through the spine to the top of the head. Inhale. Bringing the arms out. And interlock the fingers behind the head. Exhale, squeeze the elbows together, round the shoulders, around the back. Inhale, open up the shoulders, lift the heart, pressing the head into the palms, palms into the head. Arching the spine here, exhale, round. Taking a little seated cat-cow here. Inhale, open. On that in-breath, feel that expands across the front of the chest. And exhale. Last one, inhale, open. Exhale, open the arms and release. Let's come into a nice child's pose. Into a nice child's pose here. Big toes together, knees mat distance apart. Press your hips towards the heels of your feet. Maybe you place a bolster, blanket in between the heels and the sit bones if you need a little support here. Reach the arms out. Here you can rest the forehead on a block, a blanket, a pillow. Feel the shoulders wrap around towards the front of the body. Getting a little rotation here of the shoulders. Breathe. Nice. Walk the arms over to the left, actually either direction. Yogi's choice here. You want to reach over as far as you can with both arms, stretching that space underneath the armpit. Drop that front shoulder down, whichever shoulder is towards the front of your body, closer to the chest here. You're going to drop that shoulder down just a little bit, making sure they're even with the opposite. Take one more full breath. And walk the arms to the opposite side. Staying as low as you can here. Reaching over. Feel that nice stretch opening up the armpit here. Two more breaths. And come on back to center. And from here, we're going to come up to a little tabletop action. Actually, we're coming into extended puppy pose. So as the hips lift up, you're going to slide the knees back and squeeze them together a bit so that they're underneath the hips. Okay? And then walk the arms forward, taking downward facing dog arms here. So there's space between the chest or the forehead and the mat. Nice alignment here, knees and hips. Slightly deeper stretch here. Beautiful. And from here, maybe you slide the left hand back just a little bit and reach the right arm underneath. So we're settling the right shoulder and ear to the mat. We're a nice twist here. And we're gonna pull the right hip back over the right knee. Maybe you reach long overhead. Maybe you reach up towards the ceiling. Maybe you place your palm behind your back. Take one more breath here. Pulling that left shoulder back for a deep twist. And release that left arm back in front of the face. Press yourself up. And we're going to counter twist by reaching the right arm towards the ceiling. Shoulder, left shoulder, wrist still aligned. And release the palm. Switching sides here. This angle. Switching sides here, we're going to take the left arm behind the right. Drop the left ear and shoulder down. Same thing, opposite side. Taking whichever option works for you with the right arm. You can reach overhead. Again, rotating that right shoulder. opening towards the front of the body. You can bring the arm up towards the ceiling, or bring it behind the back, pulling that right shoulder back, left hip moves on top of that knee. It's very easy to kind of settle in here, right hip over right knee, but we want to pull the hips back. Take 2 more breaths. Bring that right palm in front of the face. And press into the right palm, lift up that left hand to the ceiling, and release. Tuck the toes underneath the feet. Make sure we can see here. Toes underneath the feet. And we're just going to press back, just opening up the bottoms of the feet here. Nice long spine. And from here, lifting the knees, hug the belly in towards the thighs. And we're going to take the tailbone up. Stay on your tippy toes. Keep hugging the belly to the thighs, stretching those legs up as much as we can. Those hips rather. And drop the heels down. Maybe pedal out a little bit. You're in downward facing dog. Might be a little short, that's okay. Really press through the whole front of the ankle, rolling over all of the toes, as opposed to rolling out to the side one way or the other. We want to press through the second and third toe. And one more breath. Yes. Inhale here, come up to your tippy toes. Exhale, hover the knees, bring the shoulders over the wrists. Reach the top of the head forward. Inhale here, lifting up, downward facing dog, and settle the heels on your exhale. Inhale, tippy toes. Exhale, hover. One full breath, holding the belly button up and in for a flat back. And inhale, lifting the hips to downward dog. Exhale, settle the heels. Yes. Inhale, right foot comes up. Open the hip here. So we're turning the hip out. Right toes face towards the right. Exhale, bring the knee to chest. And come forward, shoulders over wrists. Hug the knee in. Keep the hips lifted. Press back. Inhale. Opening the hips here. Keep that right shoulder square with the left. Exhale. Knee to chest. This time, inhale, press back. Keep the toes facing down. Keep the hips closed here. Might not go as high, that's okay. Exhale, knee to chest. Settle that right foot down in between the hands. Drop the left knee down and line with that left heel, left wrist rather, and twist open to the right. Inhale, opening big. Beautiful. Exhale fully. Inhale, reach. Exhale, bend the left knee. Bring the towards the hip, towards the sit bone. Maybe you reach back and hold on to that foot, that left foot. Maybe you don't. This is a little bit more passive, where this is a little bit more active. One more full breath. And release. Palms down. Step back here, coming to plank. So we're gonna lift up the left knee, step the right foot back. Take your time lowering down to the mat. Any way you'd like, knees down or not, knees, chin, chest. You can come into your Ardha Chaturanga or come all the way down. From here, squeeze those elbows in, get a nice front body stretch. Exhale, push forward and up. Feeling those shoulders working. Maybe you lift up your palms. Squeeze the thumbs in towards the body. 3, 2. Maybe you open up towards the back. 1. Release, palms down, forehead down, tuck the toes. Bring the palms back alongside the low ribs, press up to tabletop and back for downward dog. Pedal out for 3, 2, and 1. Left heel reaches up, and we're opening the hip. Press that foot all the way up towards the ceiling. On your exhale, knee to chest. Shoulders over wrists. Inhale back. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale. This time, keeping the hip closed, toes down towards the mat, heel presses up, flexing that foot, and exhale. Drop the foot down in between the hands. Right knee drops down behind the right wrist. Beautiful twist, open to the left. Inhale. Squeezing, hugging that left knee in. And bend that right knee, heel towards the sit bone. 3, 2, maybe you grab a hold. Pulling that left shoulder back, opening to the left. And one more breath. Fantastic. From here, release. And we're going to frame that front foot. Lift up the right knee and step back. Downward facing dog. Walk the feet to meet the hands. Planting those toes. Right behind the wrists, go ahead and hang down, Uttanasana. Go ahead, give the head a shake. Inhale, half lift. Lengthen the spine. Bring the wrists underneath the shoulders or onto the lower legs. Tucking the chin here. Belly is hollow, pulling up and in. Exhale and fold belly to thigh, palms down. Relax the head and neck. Yes. Beautiful. Step back. Come into a nice plank pose. Breathe here. 3, 2, And one. Downward dog. Right foot up. Exhale, step the foot to the outside of the right hand. Coming all the way forward, shoulders over wrists. Drop the hips down here. Nice long stretch. Beautiful. Keeping the chin nice and tucked here. Go ahead, drop that left knee down. Yes, we are nice and wide. Beautiful. Lift up the heart, pull the shoulders back. Feel the hips sink down, top of that left foot presses into the mat. Yes. Beautiful. From here, we're going to bring the hips back over the left knee. Turn the left foot towards the right. So we're rotating on that knee. Beautiful. We're going to walk the arms over to the left, placing that left palm underneath the shoulder, and lift up the right palm. Right palm, shoulder rotates, facing towards the body. And here we are in a nice side lunge. Or side plank rather. Careful not to sink into this left shoulder here, closing up this space. Nice strong shoulder rotator cuff and shoulder girdle. Pressing deep into the mat. One more breath. Nice. Rotating long. Come on down with the right hand. And we're going to walk the arms back towards the front of the mat, rotating that left foot back out. Beautiful. Rooting down that right foot. Come on up. Here we're in a nice low lunge. Feel that foot pressing down to support the body from underneath. Keeping that tailbone nice and tucked. Arms up overhead. You can bring them to the heart if you would like. And release. Palms down. Feeling those hamstrings working. Tuck the left toes. Lift up the left knee. Step back. Downward facing dog. Switching sides. Left leg reaches up. Inhale. Big here. Exhale. Bring the left foot to the outer left hand. Fantastic. Drop that right knee down. And for a moment here, just enjoy your lunge. Gentle opening of the hip as well. We're going to lift up that right knee, right foot, rotating the foot towards the left. Walk the arms to the right. And we're coming into our side lunge on the opposite side. Full palm, left palm, full right palm reaches down. And we're going to bring that left palm overhead. Bicep is right over by the left ear. Three, pointing those left toes. Two, full right palm gripping the mat. One, and rotating back. Try not to kill your plants. Come all the way to the front of the mat. Framing that, both palms to the inner left foot. And from here, we're going to root down that left foot and come on up into a nice low lunge. This time, I place the palms at the heart, but you can bring them overhead. You can bring them on your hips here. Take one more breath. Beautiful. Take the palms down. Inside the left foot, tuck the right toes, lift up the right knee, step back, downward dog. 3, 2, and 1. This time, right foot comes behind the left wrist. So we're aiming to get that lower leg parallel to the top of the mat, but if it slips back a little bit, that's fine. Drop the left knee down, and here we are in our pigeon pose. Remember here, you can always add a block underneath the right sit bone if we need a little bit of support. We can hang out here on the forearms, we can remain on the palms, whatever feels good, wherever we need to modify. Tucking that ego in the pocket as to avoid injury here. Want a little extra stretch, maybe we tuck the left toes, lift up that left knee. One more full breath here. Come on up to the top, palms down. Maybe you remove your block, probably should. And step back for downward facing dog. Pedal out the heels. And switch sides. Bring that left ankle behind the right wrist. Again, maybe you grab your block. Beautiful. And go where you need to go for this posture. Maybe this time your block's a little lower, maybe it's a little higher. Making sure to press that right hip down to keep it nice and even as opposed to opening the hip to the side here. We want to drop that right hip down towards the mat. Taking a moment here. A few breaths. Breathing into those deep rotators of the left leg. Beautiful. Tuck those right toes. Come on up to your palms. And step back, downward dog. Pedal it out. Notice those differences here. Oh, yes. Step the feet to the outside of the hands. And here, we're going to send the hips back and down. Maybe we sit on top of a block. Maybe we don't. Shoulders, we're aiming to get them over the hips, over the sit bones. So we're pulling the shoulders back, elbows wide. Rooting down those feet, we're lifting up the inner arches of the feet. Nice strong roots here. Growing out from the toes, from the heel. Okay, so we should be, the block isn't necessarily a crutch. We're not leaning on the block. You should be able to remove your block if you need be, but it's just there to give you a little bit of support. Take one more full breath, opening up these hips. And exhale. Palms down. Turn the toes in, drop the head down, hips up. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Reaching back this time. And inhale, half lift. Exhale, heels in, and come on down and have yourself a seat. So, we have gotten into some hip openers here. Opened up the shoulders. Got a nice couple of twists in. Legs feeling strong and open. Let's just take a moment. I do this in my in-person classes and it looks really funny, but the sensation in the hips is really quite nice. So come onto the top of your yoga mat with your heels and your legs are extended. And then you're gonna booty walk. So you're gonna walk back by just pulling one hip back at a time. So you're gonna come all the way to the back of the mat. Woo! Booty walk. And come on forward. Yes. Nice. And rotate the hips in and out. Just a little rotation from the hip here. So you want to really feel the knees rotate in towards each other, toes rotate in towards each other. And if you hold here, you should feel your glutes turn on. Yeah. And then we roll outwards. In and out here. Maybe you bend your knees and take that same little action left and right. So come on down to the mat. Give your knees a hug here. We're gonna roll onto our backs. Oh, yes. Maybe take some circles with the knees. So keeping the knees together. Gonna rotate around. Noticing how that feels on the sacrum, on the tailbone, on the low back, the upper glutes here. Getting a nice massage along the side even if you want to take the knees way out. Massaging that glute medius. Yes. Hold the right knee in towards the body and stretch the left leg out. Reach, reach, reach that left leg. Breathe for 3. Pull the right knee into the armpit for 2. Feel that left heel and left hip press down to the mat for 1. Yes. Switching hands here. Use the left hand to pull that right knee across the body, coming into our twist. You can always drop down on top of a block. Oopsie. You can always drop down on top of a block if this is too deep to come all the way down. You can come on top of a block here. Rolled up towel. Open the right shoulder towards the mat. You could do like cactus arms, bending the elbows, resting the back of the palm on the mat. And switch sides. Pull that left knee in. Stretch the right leg out. switch hands. Left knee across the body, rolling onto that right hip. Drop the left arm down towards the mat, stretching it out. Maybe you bend the elbow. And if anything feels funky here, like tingling or numbness, specifically in this left arm, instead of rotating your head out to the side, you can bring your nose back to the ceiling. You can bend your elbow if that helps a little bit. You can elevate your arm as well so that the rotation is not quite as deep. And take one more full breath here. And come back to center. Grab a hold of both knees. Give them a little hug on the spine. Release both heels down towards the mat. Soles down, hip distance apart. Palms down as well, stretching them alongside the body. One last posture before we take our Shavasana. Take a deep breath in. Pull that belly button down towards the mat. And lift up the hips. Coming into a nice bridge pose for our final stretch here. And relax the body down. Stretch out the legs. Or come into your favorite meditation posture for just a few moments. Allow yourself the opportunity to be present and to relax. Let the mind go. Let the breath flow through the body.
Bring your attention back into your body.
Gently wiggling your fingers and your toes. Take your time and come onto your favorite side. Pausing here for a moment of gratitude. Come on up to a nice seat. And as always, I'd like to thank each of you for coming to Stretch and Flex with me here in Newark Yoga Movement on Facebook. I hope that today served, and I hope you feel good. And though it is dreary, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. And I look forward to seeing you again really soon. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Peace, friends. We'll see you next time.